Welcome back to Theme Park Spark. Today we're at Universal Studios Hollywood, and it is almost time to celebrate Halloween here. We're gonna go do the studio tour now, and there's a sign that specifically says they're dressing it for Halloween Horror Nights, so you may see some disturbing things. Let's see what we see. Not disturbing at all. No, this is perfectly fine. My 6-year-old wouldn't be scared. She said sarcastically.
Only a mother can
It's my 11-year-old might be scared, but you know, he thinks he won't be. He wants to go to Halloween Horror Nights. I don't want to go. He wants to go. I don't think he's old enough. I think that's more of like when you're like in high school and you can't be scared. I think 11 is, Mom, Dad, I'm having trouble sleeping. But he might be able to, you know, handle walking around the park and going on the tram tour. We'll see.
Alright, welcome.
But yes.
Made it here at the world famous studio tour. That's why it's famous around the world. This is where it all started, Universal Destinations and Experiences. That's right. It all started here with a studio tour, then it grew into this theme park and franchise that it's seen today. And the studio tour itself has been around for 61 years now and counting. Time flies and you're giving tours, taking tours, learning about TV and film production, what is currently filming here, what is filmed here in the past, and so much more. Those new series, TV shows and movies have filmed here. Universal Studios is a rental property, so there's any studio, any production channel.
Line up on a star, 1 star per person. Line up on a star.
They're filming a new drama series today called The 5-Star Weekend. It's based on a best-selling novel, and it's going to be streaming on Peacock. It stars Jennifer Gardner and Regina Hall. We've been seeing Jennifer Gardner quite a bit lately. A lot of times, if she has a big break in between scenes, she rides her bicycle around the lot. So look out for like people riding on bikes. Also on golf carts too, because that's how they transport the people. All right, let's stick around. Are you guys ready? Yeah, well, one person is. That's all that's required for us to go. Let me introduce myself. My name is Paul. Good morning, everybody. I will be your tour guide around the studio. Aren't you lucky? Next to me at the front of the tram is Lewis. Lewis, very important to our tour. They won't let me drive backwards. They consider it unsafe. Lewis will drive. Say hi to Lewis. Lewis. He turned around and waved. Don't do that. And I've got someone who's going to give our tour a quick introduction. He's the host of The Tonight Show, Jimmy Fallon.
We made it. Welcome to the Universal Studio Tour. I'm Jimmy Fallon. I'll be making sure you get through this experience in one piece. You've got the very best guide.
His name's Paul.
And the greatest driver.
His name's Lewis.
They're the best. I love them. Even though
Tour guide Paul.
owes me $5. I know you guys are excited to get on the tour, but first, a few safety rules.
We do have some safety rules as we're taking you around our movie studio. If at any time during the tour you need immediate assistance, if you've got a medical emergency, you've accidentally dropped something important off the tram, maybe you're experiencing sound issues or video issues, we have an emergency cord right above your head down the center of the tram ceiling. When you reach up and pull down on that cord, when it's safe to do it, we'll stop the tram, we'll come back, we'll see what you need help with. Otherwise, throughout the entire tour, remain seated. Keep your arms and legs inside the tram. We're going to be riding around private property. Please don't jump off the tram for any reason. Pull the cord for an emergency. No smoking permitted on the tram. That includes vaping. We want you to take pictures, so have your phones and cameras ready, but there will be sudden tram movements. Secure your belongings so they don't fall overboard. Hold on during the tour. There's going to be loud noises, fire effects, and water effects, so you might get a little bit wet. And because you're sitting very close to a lot of people, please don't use selfie sticks on the tram. Don't put your phone on a pole and swing it around and hit people in the head. Those are the safety rules. You probably noticed, coming down this hill, we're building a roller coaster on the left side of the tram. Fast and Furious Hollywood Drift. That opens tomorrow. It's a lot of overtime remaining. That is not going to be ready tomorrow. Next year. Next year. We're going to take about 45 minutes around our studio. We're going to be passing by our movie sets. We're going to be driving by our filming sound stages. We're going to encounter some special effects along the way. First sound stage we're going to pass by is currently the oldest stage of the studio, number 12, on the left side of the tram, which was built in 1928. And Frankenstein had filmed inside this stage back in 1931. That's the stage where they built the laboratory, where Frankenstein created the monster. And in the same year, Dracula filmed in that stage. All of these movies filmed in stage 12. The next three stages on the left side of the tram, 11, 10, and 9, are used for the HBO Max comedy series Hacks. Hacks is with Gene Smart and Einbinder. The show is nominated again this year for Best Comedy Series. It won last year the Emmy. Gene Smart and Hannah Einbinder, the stars of the show, are both nominated for Emmys this year as well. But they're not filming today. They're currently on hiatus. They're on their break in between seasons. The last two stages on the left, 8 and 7, they're striking sets right now. They're taking down all the sets that they had been using for Bel Air, which is one of our drama series that streams on Peacock. Seasons 1 through 3 are now streaming, and they just finished shooting season 4 2 weeks ago, and this is the final season of the show. So fourth season, last season. They'd also been using this big stage off to the left, number 14. The show stars Jabari Banks and Ollie Sholaton. These are very nice guys. Like a lot of times when they weren't filming a scene, they were rearranging the lighting inside or they're changing the camera angle. They would come out and hang out in this area. They'd say hi to the trams as you're driving by. I didn't have to worry about this today for either Hacks or Bel Air because I know those two shows weren't shooting today. But we're going to be driving by some stages where they are, and I have to keep looking around. I'm going to be swiveling back and forth in my seat. I'm not nervous. I have to look for little red lights. Right above every soundstage entrance door, there's a red light. And if we drive next to any stage and the light is on, the cameras are rolling inside, I have to turn off all the sound on the train. So if I stop talking suddenly, it's because they don't like hearing my voice over the speakers while they're trying to film. The stages that we're passing by now, 16, 17, 18 coming up, this is where they're working on the 5-Star Weekend, that drama series with Jennifer Gardner for Peacock, also stars Regina Hall. And then before the 5-Star Weekend moved into these stages, this is where they're filming the new comedy series, The Paper, the spin-off of The Office. And we're about to drive by their base camp for 5-Star Weekend. The trailers in the parking lot are for the stars and wardrobe and makeup. There are some statues in front of stage 18 that the children on the tram are probably going to recognize. Their names are Bob and Stuart, and they're two of our Minions. They're extremely popular. They're from our Despicable Me films and the Minions films. These are animated films that we produce with another company, Illumination Entertainment. And we've got a statue for another one of our family films, Ted. That's not a family film. I want to know who's listening. Ted has a foul mouth. He's been in 2 movies, Ted and Ted 2. He's also got a television show that films on the lot, and a little bit later, I'll tell you more about the show because we're going to be driving right through some of the sets that they've been using. The bungalows on the left, these are the offices for the directors and the producers and the writers. Kevin Williamson is a writer and a producer, probably best known for writing the horror movie Scream. He produces all the Scream films. He's got the first office. behind the white fence. His production company is Outer Banks Productions. Mark Platt is a producer. Earlier this year, he produced our live-action version of How to Train Your Dragon with DreamWorks. He's got an office down the driveway on the left. There's a break in the fence, and there's an MP sign in front of Mark Platt's office. Right next to the MP sign, a Wicked balloon, because he's also the producer of our biggest hit last year, Wicked, and the upcoming Wicked Part 2, Wicked for Good, which opens in November. Alfred Hitchcock, the director of Psycho, Vertigo, Rear Window. He used to work out of Bungalow 5195. Hitchcock's profile is still painted on the wall. And the last office, on the left side of the tram, this big white building, glass building, is where they write and produce our NBC comedy, St. Denis Medical.
Oh, I love a good buzzword. A Coachella type vibe. St. Denis Regional Medical. St. Denis Regional Medical.
That woman is a lot.
She's just so quirky. St. Denis Regional Medical.
We had a red light for the St. Denis Medical soundstage as we were passing by. I'm going to tell you more about that set that we just passed by in a moment. I'm not ignoring it. I'm going to get to that later. Right now, I want to talk about this building on the right side of the tram because this is the entrance to Skull Island. This is where King Kong lives, and it's also one of the only parts of the tour I can see everybody on the tram when we make the U-turn. I don't have a lot of chances. How you guys doing? You guys good? Everybody's good? You want to see King Kong? Say yes, because we made the turn. We are committed. Our trams don't go backwards. So we're going to go in. Adventure lies ahead. So everybody, please remain seated. Hold on to your belongings. Put on your 3D glasses. Hang on. Here we go.
So true.
3D glasses that some of you have been wearing for the whole time. Don't use the glasses if you can avoid it. Try not to drop them off the tram. We do collect them at the end of the tour for the site. So when we're driving up the hill, we're going to keep on adding to off the scene because they're filming the same kind of spend. But some of the sets that we have off the left side of the tram, New York Street, is what it's called, they've been using for St. Louis Medical. We call it New York Street, but it's not limited to being New York. That can be dressed up in different cities, different states. We've been using it as Los Angeles or Bel Air. It's supposed to be Boston on the TV show Ted with the talking bear. Ted, the television show, is a prequel to the two movies. It takes place in the 1990s. Seth MacFarlane, the director of the two films, is very much involved with the television show as well. He produces the show, and he's the voice of Ted. And he's going to tell you a little bit about the series, the films out here.
Hi everyone, Seth MacFarlane, and I'm excited to share with you a behind-the-scenes look at the Peacock original event series, Ted. It's a prequel series set in 1993. And that means our skilled craftspeople had to build a high school, a house, and even recreate downtown Boston as it looked back in the day, using the exterior sets and facades that you're about to see on the tour. But I should warn you, Ted is intended for mature audiences only. So grown-ups, tell the kids to go in the other room before you watch. Come on!
Ted, another show that films on the lot that streams on Peacock, and they've been using some of these sets off the left side of the tram. If you're a fan of the old Universal black and white horror movies, the classics from the 30s and 40s like Frankenstein and Dracula, we've got a monster mural on the right side of the tram painted by artist Tristan Eaton. And this mural celebrates over 100 years of monster movies that have filmed on our backlot. We're going to be driving right through some of the sets where those movies were made. At the end of the mural, also on the right side of the tram, there are two statues, Lion Estates from the Back to the Future films. They were placed on the corners of the street that led to the McFly house. Marty hides the time machine behind one of them. And then on the other side of the tram, on the left side, we've got two of the stages where we filmed The Voice. The Voice uses 30 and 31. The trailers in front of the stages are for this season's voice coaches. Niall Horan, Michael Bublé, Snoop Dogg, and Reba McEntire. And today, Reba McEntire is in stage 33, where she films her comedy series Happy's Place, which also airs on NBC. In between the road that we're on right now and the sound stages is this big body of water with the fountain in the middle of it. That was used in one of our horror films that came out in 1954. The Creature from the Black Lagoon. That was the Black Lagoon. It was filmed on our backlot. Up on the monitors, I'm going to show you a quick scene from the movie involving that area of the studio. The movie starred Julie Adams and Rico Browning. That's Rico Browning. He played the Creature. They also called him the Gill Man. And the Creature from the Black Lagoon isn't Universal's only hit movie involving a creature attacking from underwater. This year, we celebrate the 50th anniversary of Jaws. And we're heading up to Amity Island. There's a billboard on the left side of the tram, Amity Island welcomes you. But we had to close off the beach because of the shark attacks. We have captured a shark, and it's hanging on display in front of the hotel on the right. Even though we caught the shark, they don't want us to reopen the beach because there's another shark. There's a bigger shark on the other side of the water, and we haven't captured it yet. That's a big shark. Well, that's coming this way. No, hey! This beach is closed! A shark just went underwater in front of you! You alright? The shark ate him. Yay! This is a very old dock we're driving across. Everybody remain seated while we stop behind the barrels filled with gasoline. The shark has to run. I don't see it, it's still underwater. No, it's right next to us. Steven Spielberg. The film came out in June of 1975, and then this attraction was built for the tour in 1976. That's not the mechanical shark that Steven Spielberg used in the movie, because our shark works better than his. When they were filming Jaws, they built several full-size mechanical sharks. None of them worked. They kept breaking, they kept malfunctioning, so most of the time in the movie, all you see is the shark's fin. So they put the fin on just the back of the shark, and they were able to get that to come out of the water. But there are very few shots in the movie where you see the full-size shark. A lot of times you just hear the music, and you know the shark is coming, and that's because they couldn't put the sharks to function. The little Mexican village that we're driving through right now has been used in a couple of comedies, Big Fat Liar, Nacho Libre with Jack Black, Three Amigos, Steve Martin, Martin Short, Chevy Chase. Three Amigos and Nacho Libre, although they filmed here on the lot, are not Universal films. Any movie studio can rent out our backlot set. So Three Amigos was Orion, Nacho Libre was Paramount. Every major motion picture studio has made movies on our lot. Paramount, Disney, Warner Brothers, Sony. And as we leave the Mexican village, we cross the border into the Old West, the part of the backlot where films were made with cowboys like John Wayne, Jimmy Stewart, Kirk Douglas, and Clint Eastwood.
You're just gonna stir things up here.
Mine hit the ground first. Mine was taller.
This is a pretty historic part of the backlot. These are some of the first sets that were built at the studio. The company started back in 1912 in New York. And then Carl Laemmle, the founder of Universal Pictures, moved the company to California in 1915. These are some of the first sets that were built at the time, originally constructed for silent movies, and these sets are still used for productions. Quentin Tarantino used this part of a backlot for Sony's Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and in the film, Leonardo DiCaprio's character is an actor, and he's guest starring on a Western television show. So they shot all the Western sequences out in that part of our backlot. But when they were filming, and our trams were driving by, we weren't allowed to say what it was. We couldn't say who was directing it, who was starring in it. We couldn't say the name of the film. All we could say was, hey, they're doing a top secret production out here in the backlot. That's all we're allowed to say. And that's not uncommon. So a lot of times when they film things on the lot, to avoid us accidentally pointing out spoilers as we're driving by, sometimes they want things to be kept a secret. Steven Spielberg does the same thing. Whenever he's doing a movie on the lot, we can't talk about it until the film is ready to be released. So the Western sets, they were constructed back in 1915, and then in 1923, we built some of these sets over on the right side of the tram. Little Europe, for the original silent version of The Hunchback of Notre Dame with Lon Chaney. And then later, these same sets were used for Frankenstein, Bride of Frankenstein, Dracula, the Wolfman, the Mummy, the Invisible Man. Whenever there'd be a scene with a big mob of angry villagers with torches marching through the town hunting down a monster, they filmed, oh, there's the angry villagers. Those are not angry villagers. They are taking a VIP tour. If you take a VIP tour, sometimes you get off the vehicle, walk around some of our backlot sets with one of our VIP guys. But up on the monitors, these are angry villagers. The sets that we used for these monster movies back in the 30s and 40s are the same exact sets that we used for 4 years in our comedy series The Good Place with Kristen Bell and Ted Danson. At this point, we have about 15, maybe 20 minutes left of the tour. We're past the halfway mark. Whenever we get around to this area, we always give everybody a reminder to remain seated throughout the tour. And this is something that happens very frequently on the tram ride. people will be taking a picture and they drop their phone off the tram. But sometimes they just can't wait until the end of the tour to use the restroom. It's okay. Remember, we've got an emergency cord. Don't jump off the tram for any reason. Pull on that cord for an emergency, have a seat, we'll stop when it's safe. I'll come back and switch this. Today they're not doing any filming inside stage 50. And they're giving us permission to drive the tram through to show you a set that they're working on. They're building a subway station inside. We're going to stop inside the set. I'll tell you a little bit about it, but even when we come to a complete stop, we want to make sure that you remain seated and that you're holding on. There's a track on the left side of the tram. They built 2 cars of a subway train, and they can roll that set back and forth as many times as they need to get the shot for this production. Unlike when they're filming out in the backlot, when they're ready to shoot inside the stage, they're not going to allow us to drive the trams through anymore. So here's a good opportunity for you to get some pictures of the filming set before they close it off to the public. The reason that most productions... Hold on, that's an earthquake. They don't necessarily need computer effects added to them later. That attraction has been part of the tour since 1989. But when they were filming it in the late 1980s, they based it on a hit Universal action film that was released in the 1970s. And that movie was... Earthquake. The movie was Earthquake. Charlton Heston, big movie, back in 1974. We're going to drive by Jaws again. We're not going to drive through it. We're going to pass it to get to another part of the backlot. But Steven Spielberg had a lot to do with this attraction being built. There's another tram being attacked by the shark right now. I'm going to bring Steven Spielberg up on the monitors to tell you about Jaws.
The Jaws ride was almost the inevitable result of the size of the box office when Jaws first opened in June of 1975. And that was really the first time I ever got involved in the creation of the ride. It was a great honor to be invited into a creative circle of tremendous designers at Universal that were trying to figure out how to replicate what the movie had done to audiences in a real way by building a crucible shark that would come out of the water and terrify tourists as they were sitting in the crab. And the most amazing thing about the Jaws ride is it is exactly as it was from the time it was first placed on the Universal lot. There have been tweaks, of course, over the years, but it is essentially what the designers and myself all envisioned and created.
And the road that we're on right now, this street is called Colonial Street. We've got a whole neighborhood out here, and this is the neighborhood where the Talking Bear Ted lives. Ted lives with the Bennett family in the second house on the right side of the tram. Right now it's painted white for a new production, but on Ted it's blue. I'm going to show you a quick scene up on the monitors involving that set.
Let the festivities begin. How many we got? Well, let's see. We got 20 cardinals.
Fantastic.
Do you think we're getting too old for this?
Come on, Johnny, we're doing a public service here. If a kid leaves the house in a less than stellar Halloween costume, he's got to get the bad news before he makes a fool of himself all over town. We're Samaritans.
Ted lives in the same neighborhood as the Desperate Housewives. For 8 years, Colonial Street was Wisteria Lane. These are the same sets.
If there is one thing everyone in suburbia can appreciate, it's a good movie.
For 4 years, the Netflix series Never Have I Ever, filmed on Colonial Street, created by Mindy Kaling. And the main character on the show, Davy, lived in the same house as Susan. You can see up on the monitors, the yellow house. Terry Hatcher is coming out of the yellow house on the right. And next door to Davy and Susan, this pink house on the corner. As we're making the turn, that's where the Munsters lived. Back in the 1960s, that was dressed to look a lot spookier as 1313 Mockingbird Lane. Now, most recently, we've been using this barber backlot for a new TV show, The Burbs, which stars Keke Palmer, which is loosely based on the 1989 movie The Burbs, which starred Tom Hanks. And the movie all takes place in one neighborhood. That neighborhood was Colonial Street, so they've been using the same sets for the show. The family comedy Casper with Christina Ricci had filmed on Colonial Street. A lot of music videos, commercials. I'd already mentioned Desperate Housewives. Back in the 1970s, that street is where all the frat houses were in our comedy Animal House. We're almost back at the theme park now. We're going to be driving through 3 more movie sets. Even though we're almost home, we're still on private property. So one final reminder, for any emergency, please don't jump off the vehicle. Pull that red cord above you so we can stop. And I'll come back, I'll see what you need help with. This next section, there are completely different things to talk about on both sides of the tram. So I'm going to start over on the left side. I'll get to the right side in a minute. On the left, we got some cars from movies. They're called picture cars, like the Gyrosphere, that's from Jurassic World. The Jeep is from Jurassic Park, and the prehistoric cars from the Flintstones. Those are movies Steven Spielberg produced. We've got one of Dominic Toretto's cars from the Fast and Furious films. We've got a Bumblebee from Paramount's Transformers. And on the right side of the tram, we're in the middle of building sets for Halloween Horror Nights, which opens September 4th. For Halloween Horror Nights at night, this turns into the Terror Tram. It's called Enter the Blumhouse, where you're going to be greeted by scary characters from Blumhouse films like Megan, The Purge, Black Phone, and they're building these sets right in front of the Bates Motel and House from Psycho. The Bates Motel is run by Norman Bates, and Norman lives in that creepy house at the top of the hill. We're going to drive right past this movie. That's fair. Norman doesn't like when trams drive by his house. He gets very angry. Oh, he's home. He's out on the porch. Norman, are you excited about Halloween Horror Nights? They're building it right in front of your motel. On September 4th, it's like The Purge. You can do whatever you want. Not yet, Norman. Not yet. Not until the 4th. Norman, don't stab anybody yet. I won't tell your mother. Look what he did to the airplane. An airplane crashed behind the Psycho house, but Norman Bates didn't do this. Aliens did this. This is all a set that was built for Paramount's War of the Worlds. The airplane is perfectly good.
He said, yeah, to sit down and talk about the world. What if the same thing sort of goes down right in a big neighborhood? Because it's just something you don't see.
You're doing good. You're doing good. Come close.
And that was a real plane, not just a set that they built, made it look like that. They got a full 747 and did that to it. That was somebody's job on the set of War of the Worlds, ripping the airplane apart. And then the sets they're building right next to the plane, that's also for Hollywood. The last movie set that we're going to drive through is a little western town called Jupiter's Claim, and it was built for the suspense film Nope, written and directed by Jordan Peele. So we're going to stop in the set for a moment. We're going to give you time to get some pictures. And to tell you a little bit more about Jupiter's Claim, here's Nope's writer and director, Jordan Peele.
Movie magic only happens when a team of collaborators, often in the hundreds, work together to take an impossible notion and bring it to life. This is Jupiter's Claim, a nostalgic, small-time Southern California amusement park owned by former child star Ricky Juke Park. Over there, look into the winking well and have your picture taken just like the kids in that old 90s movie Kid Sheriff. That's what this whole place is loosely based on. Remember that one? No? Right. A little further down, you can see the brand new Star Lasso experience. Built to showcase an unbelievable new live show. It's not looking so live. Behind this Hollywood fantasy, the old Rush Frontier team tries to see some secret. It is smack dab in the center of Knoxville. Welcome to the world of no.
Around past our backlot sets today, we didn't encounter any filming that was taking place outside. All the filming today was being outside sound stages. So how are they able to use all these movie sets for filming? The trams are driving next to them all day. We have a very simple system. When they're using one of the backlot sets, they put a security guard on each corner of that set, and the security guards have red flags. And when the director calls action, the cameras start rolling, all the security guards hold up the red flags, which does two things. First thing, it's just like the red light on top of the soundstage entrance door. If we're on the backlot, the flag is up, we cut off all the sound. The second thing the flags do, they make us stop the tram so that we're not driving by in the background of the shot. The director calls cut, they lower the flags, we continue on right past the filming sets. And sometimes we'll do a movie or a television show, and the characters visit a movie studio. So in those situations, they don't stop our trams. They purposely have them driving by in the shot. These are some examples. And these are important words of wisdom. I'm not allowed to say that, but I can play that video. Now we're heading back to the theme park. You can continue your movie making experience. Go on rides that are based on hit movies and shows. We've got the Simpsons ride, Transformers ride, Jurassic World, Secret Life of Pets Off the Leash. Next year we open Fast and Furious Hollywood Drift, the new roller coaster we passed by the beginning of the tour. We've got Waterworld, a live SeaWorld Spectacular, which is a stunt show, the Wizarding World of Harry Potter, Super Nintendo World. And as we're heading back, I'd like to take a moment to thank all of our annual pass holders for coming back and joining us again today. If you're not a pass holder and you'd like to be one, stop by the Universal box office. Find out how you can upgrade today's ticket, get you an upgrade pass, come back and join us again and again. If you want to purchase any of the NBC Universal movies or shows I've been talking about throughout the trip, you can visit this website, up on the monitors, uphe.com, to find out about any of the titles that are scrolling up on the monitors. You can also ask at any of our retail stores. And if you haven't done it yet, while you're in the park, we do recommend that you download the Universal Studios Hollywood app. It's going to give you information on today's park hours and the wait times for the rides, the wait times for Waterworld, mobile food ordering on the app. We're going to stay open tonight until 7 o'clock. As you can imagine, it is not easy driving one of these big trams around. That's why I don't do it. But Lewis did a great job. Big round of applause for Lewis. On behalf of Lewis and myself, Paul, and all of us here at Universal Studios Hollywood, hope you guys enjoyed the trip around the studio. Have a good time. Enjoy the rest of your day. That's a wrap.
Please watch her and watch your step. Fill up all 3 glasses in the blue bins.
I'm going to
Enjoy
do
the
it
rest of your
again.
stay out.
Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe and ring the bell so you're notified about upcoming videos about Universal Studios Hollywood and other fun places worth visiting in Southern California and beyond. See you next time.